So to kick things off, I'm going to tell a little story. Obviously, I was asked to MC tonight, and so I was very excited about that. So in agreeing to do that, I came to the previous one to kind of scope out the gig, see what I had to do. Little did I know I had to tell a story in the beginning. I'm like, oh, great. Okay, so it's fair. I've wanted to tell a story before in the past, but even though, yes, I'm an actor, I've been on stage, this is me. There's no distraction of wigs, silly accents, costumes, anything like that. So it's all me, all my words. So I was glad to do it, but of course, like me, I sort of put it off. I'm like, last chance, what do I talk about? In true form, I put off the decision to last chance because I am a procrastinator and I am indecisive. So it's a really bad combination, actually. So I put off deciding what to do, but I didn't know what to do. In my defense, being indecisive, I like to think that I'm a cool, chill guy, I can go with whatever. So that's my reason for that. And procrastinating, sometimes I think it's okay that I have less time to work on something or a project. It still gets done in its time. So that's my defense for that. So I thought about one time when I put off a decision, and I was really worried about it, but it sort of worked in my favor. So sometimes that can happen. So I'm at that age, and I guess I can say I'm at that age or that stage in my life where I'm getting invited to a lot of big milestones in people's lives. I'm talking weddings, baby showers, first birthdays, other birthdays, anniversaries, divorce parties, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, which I'm honored to do. That's great, I'm glad to be a part of that. This year already, it's 3 baby showers. One year it was 5 or 6 weddings. It's great, I'm honored, but maybe I should be less nice to people. I don't know, but I'm glad to be there. That's great. So this one particular summer, I knew that there were 2 weddings coming up. It was kind of end of summer, beginning of fall. And I said, great, I would love to attend. That's great. So the save the dates arrive in the mail for both of these events. It turns out both of these weddings are on the same day. I have to make a decision. I have to decide which wedding do I go to. One wedding was to a friend of mine I lived with in college, roommate. We hadn't talked in a few years, but we were still close, but we moved away. And so I was like, I'd love to go to her wedding, but I don't know, factoring it in, it is, in the Poconos, a destination wedding, if you will. So I knew I'd have to travel there, hotel room, okay. The other wedding was more recent friends. It was a couple that I did shows with. I knew them, so I was like, this makes sense too. What do I decide? I don't know. And so I just worried about it forever with that RSVP date looming over my head. What do I do? They wanted me at their wedding. It's important. They want me there to eat food, meet their relatives, rip it up on the dance floor, all of that stuff. I didn't want to let them down. What do I decide? So I kind of put it off, being indecisive, procrastinating decision, RSVP date looming over my head. It's approaching really close. And then I get a text from one of my friends, the bride of one wedding. She says in the text, hey, Jeremy, I just want to let you know, unfortunately, our wedding is off. And I'm like, oh, man, that's terrible. I can't imagine making that decision to feel that way about someone, decide for a wedding, oh man, I felt so terrible for her, all that planning. It must be it's just so sad. However, on the other side of that, of course that's terrible, but I no longer needed to make a decision. It was decided for me. I could just go to the wedding in the Poconos and not have to decide. So, of course, that's terrible example. They're all happy now, whether they're married or not, so I just want to preference that. But of course, I didn't have to decide. So it's just case in point that, sometimes you can be a little indecisive. You can be a little, procrastinate little things a bit, and that's okay because eventually fate can come in and just make a decision for you at the last moment, the last chance.